Now, the important thing just to read over here is in the end of Parshas V'Chaisai, there's a paragraph that first the Masechet really deals with, the first bunch of Parakim deal with. Vayikro Parak Chav Zayin. Vaydaber Hashem Moshe Lemor, Daber Bnei Yisrael v'Amata Leihem. Ishki Afli Neder. If a guy articulates a vow, Be'arkechana Fashos LaHashem, for the value of nefashos, of life. Right? Basically, what he's doing over here is he's promising, he's making a neder to donate the value of a person. Morning. Now, there are two ways you can donate the value of a person. Either specific to that person, how much you would be, like back in the day when they had slave markets, right? There would every person, depending on his physical build, maybe even his smarts, however they would.
How much work you have?
Right, cheshbon, exactly how much monetary value he's worth. Right, so you can donate to the specific person how much he's worth. And then there's what the Torah does over here is besides for that system which is in place, we're going to see in the Mishnah. There's also a certain system of donations where just depending on whether it's a male or female, depending on what age, there's like a general value that the Torah to each person is worth, depending on where he fits into. So that's what the pasuk continues to say. The value of a zachar, if he's from 20 until 60, she's worth 50 shekel kesef, 50 shekel silver shekels, and that's the. So if you say on somebody, I want to be neither his value, his erech, which means the word actually means value, his erech to the Beis Hamikdash. So then we have to see: is he male? Is he female? What is his age? What's his age? And then it fits into the exact prescribed value that the Torah says. Right. So then
quadriplegic, if he's a Talmid Chacham, if he's a shoulder, that makes all difference.
What the Torah does is just age and gender. So if right, so women are a little bit less, right? So this is in terms of monetary value. We're not talking about the value of neshama, right? I'm saying this is shlishim shekel, and the keva shlishim shekel, and then from 5 to 20, also there's a difference in zachar and keva, and then from a month until 5, and then from 60 and up. Okay, and then so it gives different amounts of money. And it's also important to know that the paragraph ends off. If he's too poor, he can't afford what he had vowed. So then we have to put him in front of the kohen. We bring him to the kohen. The kohen evaluates how much he could pay, I guess based on his monetary capabilities, and then whatever he can afford. So then in a b'diavad situation where he can't actually pay up, so there's also the kohen is able to assess how much we should actually obligate him. Okay, so that's the whole paragraph. It's the whole parsha of Arachin that the Torah talks about. Okay, Hakol Ma'arichin, says the Mishnah. Everyone can be ma'arich. Ma'arich means can promise to pay the erech of somebody else. Ma'arichin, v'ne'erach, and it also can be promised about. Someone else can point to anybody and say, "I want his erech to the Beis. I want to donate his erech to the Beis Hamikdash." So kol ma'arichim is the one who's donating. Ne'erachim is the subject that someone is vowing about. So I call Marichin v'ne'erachim, Noidrin v'nidarim. Noidrin v'nidarim is the same. Is the first thing I mentioned is when you're just noider, no special value that the Torah already prescribes. It's just you say the value of the person on the slave market. Just like you can say the value of the bookcase, the value of a car. I want to donate to the Beis Hamikdash. So you want to donate the value of that person. So that we'd have to assess on the slave market how much this specific human is worth, right? But so too, anyone can be neider, anyone can be nidar, can be the subject of a vow. Kohanim, Leviim, Yisraelim, Nashim, Va'avadim, Tumtum, V'androgenos. They're all noidrim v'nidarnu marichin. Avalon erachim. So these, that's it. So right, so the first, I'm sorry, I didn't put the period. Kohanim, Leviim, Yisraelim, Nashim, Va'avadim, period, right? They can be noider, Nidarim, Nerachim, Marichin, they can do anything. Tumtum v'adrogenos, Noidrim v'nidarim. They themselves can be the subject of, they can be Noider and be the subject of someone else's neder. Umarichin, and they also can donate the erech of somebody else. Avaloi Nerachim. They're not Nerach. If someone says, erech of this guy who's a tumtum or an androgynous on olai, meaning I want to be chayv, he's not chayv. Why? She'ein nerach ela hazachar vaday u'nekeva vaday. Only vaday zachar vaday nekeva. You have to know exactly what they are in order for the erech to work. Cheresh ha'tifikatan, they're nidarim v'ne'erachim. They can be the subject of a neder or an erech. Avaloi nojen v'loi marichin. But they themselves, they have no das to obligate them. Right? Their words are not binding, and therefore, if they say the neder, they want to be neder this guy's value or this guy's erech, it doesn't work. Okay, that's the mission. Hakol marichin says the Gemara l'suyimai. What's hakol l'suyimai? L'suyimai says the Gemara mufla samuch leish. Mufla samuch leish is a younger. He didn't yet hit 13. Right, he's not 13 until he has actually 2 Cyrus and he's 13 years old. But if someone who's mufla samuch leish is someone who didn't yet, he's 12 years old, he knows how to be noida, he knows how to articulate a vow, right? And therefore we are mechayev him.
So just like when they're doing it's valid, someone to run,
right.
That's a chiddush.
Right, and that's what our call is coming to teach you. Okay, so mufla samuch leish doesn't have to actually be 13. Ne'erachim. And hakol is distributive, right? Hakol also goes on hakol marichin, hakol ne'erachim. What's that coming to include? It's to include even a minuvul mukishchin, someone who's disgusting, someone who has boils and stuff. So saktai dechamina neder berg chaksiv. I would think that because the pasuk puts neder, it puts the words together. It calls neder and the erkachot. The Torah puts the words together. Anyone who has value on a slave market, right? Only him you would be able to you'd be able to be marichem. Anyone who you would try to sell in the slave market, no one would want to buy him. So essentially, he has no real value, right? So I would think, so maybe him doesn't have. He's not in the parsha of Arachin either. Even though, right, we're not going specifically to him. We're going to prescribe. You're 20. How old are you? And right, what gender are you? But I would think no. You have to have some value, actual value on the slave market in order to be in the parsha of Arachin. Why? Because it says neder be'erkecha. Mashmalah, no. Mashmalah hakol ne'erachim. Even a mukishchin, l'maisa, he's still included in the regular values that the Torah decides. Okay. Nefashas koldehu. Right? Kamashmalan. Nefashas koldehu. Right? Nefashos. The pasuk says nefashos. As long as you're a nefesh, you can be nerach. Okay. Noidrin, what's hakol noidrin? Why does right? The hakol is also going on noidrin. What's that coming to include? Mine nidar it's strictly. The Gemara says you really need it for nidar. You don't really need hakol noidrin. You need it. We just said hakol noidrin because we want to say hakol nidarin. Now what's hakol nidarim? Why nidarin? It's nidarin l'suyimai. What's nidarin coming to include? Either tum tevadrogenos. If it's coming to include even a tum tevadrogenos that you can vow their value to the Beis Hamikdash, their specific value. Behedya k'tanilo. It says beferish in the Mishnah. Later on in the Mishnah, it says tum tevadrogenos noidrin v'nidar. The ila suya cheresh advokatan. If it's coming to include cheresh advokatan, behedya also behedya k'tanilo. Ila suya pachas v'ben chodesh. If it's coming to explain to include even less than a month, meaning the Torah by the parsha of Arachin says the lowest age the Torah gives is a month. But how about under a month? Right, Pasha Sinai and the Pasha of Erchin. But in Nidar you could be noider the value of a baby that's under a month. Right, just the value of how much you would be sold, how much the potential value of this human. So it says also that is also behedya katanilu. It's the Mishnah coming up. The ilasuya in a couple of pages. The ilasuya ovid kechavim. If it's to include a non-Jew that he's Nidar also behedya katanilu. It also says beferish. So again, what's this hakol nidarim? What's the yisui? What's it coming to include? It says Avada is coming to include less than a month. But this is the way it sort of says it first in the general way. Hakol nidarim to include pachasir and chodesh. But then it actually the Mishnah it doesn't make a difference. The Mishnah, even though we already hinted to it with hakol nidarim, the Mishnah still continues to actually articulate the halacha that even less than ben chodesh is in the parsha of Nidarim. Okay. Now the Gemara is going to go into for the next daf and a half is going to go into all these different brises and quotes of Hakol and see what is Hakol coming to include. Hakol Asuya Imai, right? So the first is Hakol Soimchim. Everyone does smicha, right? Everyone has to lean on their carbon, right? When before you bring the carbon, you have to do the Samach Yad Al Reisha carbon, right? So the Asuya Imai, what's Hakol coming to? Good Asuya Yerush. Someone who inherits. Let's say someone, the father was mafresh a carbon, right? And then he dies. So now the kid has to bring that carbon, right? When the kid brings that carbon, does he have to do smicha or not? Because it's not really his carbon. It's he yarshin the carbon, right? So what we're saying is no. Hakol Samchim is coming to include the Yerush. It's like Rabbi Yehuda, not like Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda holds that a Yerush is not Samchim. Hakol Memirin Lasuye Mai. Let's say a Mishnah in Tmura that everyone can do make a Tmura. If you have kedusha on one animal and you want to convert the kedusha on another animal, the Torah says you shouldn't. But if you do, it's kodesh, right? Hakol Memirin. Anyone can do that. Lasuye Mai. Again, Lasuye Yerush to include an inheritor is like Rabbi Yehuda. Also, again, Rabbi Yehuda argues and says that a Yerush does not have the power to convert the kedusha, to make it Tmura. The Tanya, we see in the Brisa, we see Rabbi Yehuda, Tanya, Yerush Saimach, Yerush Meimer. Yerush is Saimach, he could do Smicha, and Yerush is Meimer. Yehuda Eimer, Yerush ain't a Saimach. Yerush ain't a Meimer. He holds no, not. My time to Yehuda, Korbanoi, V'loi Korban Aviv. It says, V'samach Yadal, Yerush Korbanoi, only his carbon, V'loi Korban Aviv. That's what Yehuda learns. V'yolef Tchilas Hektish, B'sayf Hektish. And he learns the beginning of Hektish from the end of Hektish. Just like Masechet Hektish, Yerush and a Saimach. Just like at the end of the whole Hektish story. When is that? Right before Shechita, is right before its ending, right? You finish it, that's it. So over there, right before Shechita, the Torah says, which is Smicha, right before Shechita, Yerush is Ein Saimach. So too, in the Tchilas Hektish, right, when you're makdish something, you can't be makdish something, you can't transfer the kedusha at the beginning of the beginning of the process of kedusha to another animal. You can't transfer it unless you're the actual person, not a Yerush. So Tchilas Hektish, Misayf Hektish, Masayf Hektish, Yerush, and Samach, Av Tchilas Hektish, Yerush, Ein Meimer. So too, in the beginning, right, he's learning Tmura from Smicha. Smicha is Saif Hektish, and Tmura is Tchilas Hektish. Just like by Smicha, Yerush doesn't work, so too by Tmura, Yerush doesn't work. The Rabbanon, they learn it out from Homer Yomir l'Rabbi Yerush. The pasuk says, "Homer Yomir be'ma b'veima." It's a double lashon. They learn from Homer Yomir. This includes even a Yerush. V'alfin and Soif Hektish Tchilas Hektish. We learn the opposite. We learn the end, which is Smicha, from the beginning. Ma Tchilas Hektish Yerush Meimer. Just like we have a specific ribuy in the parsha of Tmur that Yerush can be Meimer. Av Soif Hektish Yerush Samich. So at the end, Yerush even could do Smicha. Rabbanon hay Korbanoi my avdilei. What do they do with the word Korbanoi? Right? Yehuda use it as a miyut to say Yerush, but they hold it doesn't work. So what do they do with the word Korbanoi? BeiRav Korbanoi v'loi Korbanoi v'gechavim. Not a korban of a non-Jew. Korban of a non-Jew, you don't do smicha on. Korbanoi v'loi korban chaveira. You don't do smicha on your friend's korban. Korbanoi, the rabbis kol balei chuvrin the smicha. But they hold the korbanoi, the last korbaning includes that all people, let's say 5 people together, bring an animal b'shutfus. So they all have to be signed together, and that's what they learn from the word korbanoi. As long as it's partially yours, you have to be signed. Rabbi Yehuda, the rabbis called Balechov and the Smicha less late. Right? Rabbi Yehuda, who uses one of the korbanos, right? He uses one of the korbanos to teach, right? I mean, essentially the pasuk says 3 times korbanoi, right? So the Rabban just learned 3 things, right? Korbanoi v'loi korban chaveiroi, korbanoi v'loi korban avichacham, korbanoi v'loi korban chaveiroi, korbanoi the rabbis called Balechov and the Smicha, right? So it says 3 times korbanoi. So Rabbi Yehuda used already one of those, right? That's according to Rabban. Rabbi Yehuda used one of those to learn Korbanoi v'lo Yerush, right? So what is he? So he doesn't. He has to delete one of the limudim, right? So what does he do? It says Rabbi Yehuda does not hold the rabbis called Balechov and the Smicha lesna. He doesn't hold to that. So he has one extra for Yerush. But he has to give up on that drasha, and he must hold that not every person has to do Smicha. If Shutvin bring a carbon, not everyone has to smicha. The Inami Isli says more, but even if you want to say no, he really does hold over that halacha. He holds that Kol Balechuvin, they all have to do smicha, all the Shutvin. He could learn both both non-Jew and being a non-Jew doesn't do smicha, and also you don't do smicha for your Jewish friend, right, who's bringing a korban, and he learns that all from one Michad Kronafki. He knows it from one pasuk of korbanai, because right, essentially it's the same idea. Only yours are not a non-Jew. Only yours are not Right. Rashi says it's Ein Yisrael Samech Al Korban Akum, and not on his friend either. You don't do smicha for the guy, and you don't do smicha for anyone. So it's only you, right? So you only need one pasuk for that. And therefore he's left with two. Chad Korban Aviv Korban Aviv. One is for Yeresh to teach you no Yeresh. The other one is to include what we just said, that he would even hold that every shutaf has to be said. Rabbi Yehuda says, what does he do with Hamer Yomer? Chachamim use it to teach you even Yeresh. He doesn't hold that. So what does he do with the double lashon? The Tanya. Even a woman could be made. Tanya, because the whole parsha of Tamura, it's all talking about in a male lashon. What are we going to end up including a woman also? How do we know? Maybe because the Torah only says lashon zachar, only men could be meimer and not women. That's why it includes. Rabbanon ve'im, they learn from the extra word ve'im homer yomir. To them, that's an extra word, and they learn that even women can make it. More Rabbi Yehuda ve'im leidarish. Rabbi Yehuda, he doesn't. Ve'im is not a joshua to him. Okay. Weiter. Akol chayovim v'sukkah l'suyei mai. What is this brayta that says that everyone's chayav in sukkah? What's it coming to include? Hakol l'suyei katan she'ein tzarich l'imay. A katan who doesn't need his mother. Rashi explains from the Gemara in Sukkah, it means that he wakes up and he doesn't cry for his mother, right? So if he's mature enough for that, even though he's under 13, he's a katan, he's still chayav in Sukkah al tzchinuch, right? Al tzchinuch he has to be in the Sukkah. Nan katan she'en tzarich l'imoy chayav b'Sukkah. That's what the Mishnah in Sukkah says. So that's what hakol chayav in Sukkah is going to include. Hakol chayav in lulav. L'suyei katan hayadeh l'naneh. Also, if a katan knows how to shake it correctly, so therefore. He's chayav in lulav. Ditnan katan hayadel inaneh chayav belulav. Also says in the Mishnah, hakol chayav mitzitzis l'suyei mai l'suyei katan hayadel zateif. A katan who knows how to wrap in the talis, he's chayav. Ditani katan hayadel zateif chayav mitzitzis. If he wears a four-cornered garment, he's chayav, even though he's a katan. Hakol chayav mitfilin l'suyei mai l'suyei katan hayadel lishmor tefillin. A katan who knows how to watch his tefillin, may watch himself while. That he's not mefiach. He knows how to put on tefillin. He knows the halach. He can keep to the halachos of hilchos tefillin. So he's chayav. The Tanya katan hayadel lishmor tefillin. He knows how to watch his tefillin. Aviv lokeach lo tefillin. His father should buy him tefillin. Hakol chayav b're'iyah. Everyone's chayav b're'iyah. B're'iyah means to come up.
We don't do that.
We don't do well. Right, some people train them in before. Right, before the bar mitzvah, for 3 months or something, 2 months, a month, some people do. But over here it sounds like no, it's like tzitzis, right? As long as you know we could do it. Right. We'll see there are a bunch of things that we don't do that the Gemara brings here. Okay, either way, hakol chayav b're'iyah. Re'iyah means for Yirah kol zuchur kol, the Torah says you have to come 3 times, the mitzvah of Re'iyah, to come to the Beis HaMikdash 3 times a year. Everyone's chayav. L'suyei mai. What's it coming to include? L'suyei mi shechetzei eved v'chetzi ben chayim. Someone who's half an eved and half a ben chayim. And an eved, it says, Rashi brings the drasha from Chagiga that an eved is pater. He's pater from Re'iyah. Why? Because the pasuk says El Paneha Adoin Hashem. Only if someone's only master is HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But if he has another master, so he has a ptur from the pasuk, it's not his odin, he has 2 odins. So therefore he will be patur. But if he's Chetzi Eved, Chetzi Ben Chorin, so in that situation, he's chayav. So that's it coming to include Lasuya Misha Chetzi V'Chetzi Ben Chorin. Ul Ravina says according to Ravina de Omar, Misha Chetzi Eved V'Chetzi Ben Chorin patur min Re'iyah, right? Ravina said no, even he is patur from the Re'iyah. So what's it coming to include? Right? It's not including that. He also it's patur. It's patur. It says L'suya chiger b'yom rishain. If someone was a chiger means he's limping, he couldn't walk. But then it straightened out and it got fixed on the 2nd day of Yom Tif. Right? The first day of Yom Tif he was a chiger. The 2nd day was nispashet. Right? So now a chiger is patur because the pasuk says it says regalim. right? Raglayim, you have to have feet. If you have a peg leg, whatever, a fake leg, you're potter. If you're limping, you're potter. But this guy got healed on the second day, right? So the shaila is like the following. Martin's Ravina saying he's chayiv, right? He's chayiv on the second. He's chayiv to come on the second day. But this is not so simple. The Gemara says, this makes sense according to the Mandamar that holds kulam tashlumin zelozeh. Each day is a tashlumin for the previous day. Meaning we have 7, right? There's 7 days you could bring the whole Yom Tov. You can bring the carbon re'iyah. Right now, how does it work? Is it pshad that avada the first day is the main day, right? And if you didn't do the first day, so then you have the rest of the days to make it up. It's tashlumin, right? Or you say no, each day is a chiyuv on its own, and each day is making it up for the previous day, or right. So if each one is a tashlumin for the previous day, but the pshat is each day is mechayev on its own, right? So then he comes on the second day. Right, even though he missed the first day, that doesn't mean he's patur. The second day is also mechayev, right? And therefore he has to bring it on the second day. He missed the second day, he has to bring it on the third day. That's cool and tashlumin zelazeh. They're all each day is making up for the previous day. But But if they're all according to the Mandamar that says that no, the only real chiyuv day is the first day, and therefore you just have the rest of the days to make up for the first day. So in that situation, he should be patur. Why? Because once he had the ptur on the first day, because he was a chigar, right? So I don't care if on the second day, the third day, he could now bring it, but it doesn't make a difference. He already had that ptur, even though now he could bring it, right? And because this man the Amar holds that there's no chiyuv on the second, third, and fourth day. It's only the chiyuv is on the first day. And you're just making it up, and you don't have to make it up if you were patur. So what's it coming to include? So it's coming to include suma be'achas me'eino. He's coming to include even if you have a blind person who's blind in one eye. If you're blind with 2 eyes, then avada we learn now that you're patur. But let's say you're blind only with 1 eye. So what Ravino would be saying is that it's coming to include someone who's blind in 1 eye. Not like the following brisa. The Tanya, if someone's blind in 1 eye, even if he's only blind in 1 eye, he's patur min. Why? Shenemar yirah. The pasuk says yirah, and we learn and we read it yirah. So kederach sheba lirois, just like the way someone comes to, it's making a parallel between HaKadosh Baruch Hu and us. And it's HaKadosh Baruch Hu comes to see us, right? HaKadosh Baruch Hu comes to see us, Kavyachol, in the Beis HaMikdash when we come to Shalosh Regalim, right? So too, we should be seen the same way He comes to us. We should be seen. Just like HaKadosh Baruch Hu comes to see us, so too you should come and be seen. What? So. Ma lirais b'shtei, just like HaKadosh Baruch Hu Kavyachol comes with 2 eyes. That's what Rashi explained. Ma lirais b'shtei, just like HaKadosh Baruch Hu comes to see you with his 2 eyes. Af le'ra'os b'shtei. And that you learn from the pasuk says ye'ra'eh, you should be seen, but you could read it yir'eh, right? So therefore we sort of make a hekesh between those 2 types of readings. Yir'eh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu sees you. Ye'ra'eh, the way you should be seen, right? You should be seen the way HaKadosh Baruch Hu sees you. Just like He sees you with 2 eyes, Kavyachol, so too you see Him. You should see Him with 2 eyes. And if you only have 1 eye, you're patur, right? So that's this brisa. But Ravina saying no, we would Kolel you would say no, only if you can't see at all. But if you have 1 eye, it's fine. If you have 1 eye, you're chayiv. Even Ravina holds that Hakol Chayav and B'Riyah is coming to include Chetzei Eved v'Chetzei Ben Chayren. You asked on Ravina, it says in the Brisa. You asked, according to Ravina himself said he's patur, right? But you're coming to include Misha Chetzei Eved v'Chetzei Ben Chayren, but Ravina holds his patur, so he can't hold this coming to include it. And so it took a kasha like Ravina. He asked on Ravina like kasha kan v'Mishnah Rishona kan v'Mishnah Achrona. Meaning Ravina was going in the Mishnah Rishona. According to the Mishnah Rishona, Avada he would be patur. But the Maskana, the halacha used to be a certain way, and then we changed the halacha, like we're going to see in the following Mishnah, and therefore Ravina is going according to the original halacha. But once we have the change, the progression in halacha that we're going to see, so then even a Chetzi Eved Chetzi Ben Chayren is chayiv, and Ravina agrees to that. So now the Tanan, what's the Mishnah Achrona? If you have someone who's half an Eved, half a Ben Chorin, right? So Eved is Rabbi Yomi Echad. Let's say you have just an Eved who was owned by two Shutfin, and then one of them freed his Chelek, right? So it's Chetzi Eved, Chetzi Ben Chorin. What does he do? Eved is Rabbi Yomi Echad. He has to work for his master one day. Ves Atzma Yomi Echad, one day, right? Divrei Beisil. That's what Beisil holds. That's it. He's half and half. Amrulam Beishamai Tikantam es Rabbi. You fixed. It's very good for his master. His master's all set up. He's getting exactly what he owns. But he himself, he's unfixed. He has no takana. Well, at least a shifcha and a yochel, he can't marry a shifcha because he's chatzi ben chorin, bas chorin and yochel, because he's half an eved, right? So you vatal. So if he doesn't have any kids, you can't give up on that because the whole point of the world is for Peri Rivi is to populate the world. Shnema loisoyu bra. Akadosh Baruch Hu didn't create the pasuk in Yeshaya. Akadosh Baruch Hu didn't create the world to be desolate. Lo sheves yitzar. He created it to be populated, to be dwelled in. So you see, Peri Rivi is a very important thing. So you can't just leave him like that without being able to have kids. Because of Tikkun Olam, to make the world a better place, Kaifin Rabbi, we can kaifa his. We force the master of Oisais ben Chorin, and he has to free him on that half. The Kais of Shtar al Chatzidama, and he writes, and the Eved will be Chayav a Shtar al Chatzidama. He'll have to pay him, but either way, he's a free man, and then he can marry a Bas Chorin. And then once Beishamai heard this Tikkun, once Beisila heard this Tikkun of Beishamai, Chazru Beis Hillel leHoris ke Beishamai. So according to this, even if you do have a Chetzi every Chetzi ben Chorin, because the halacha is that the master has to release him, so therefore it's like he's considered free b'chlal. And therefore, in terms of Hilchos Re'iyah, he's chayav to go to the Beis HaMikdash. So even if you have a Chetzi every Chetzi ben Chorin, the Mishnah is saying, and everyone agrees that according to Beis Shammai, according to what we pass like Beis Shammai over here, and Beis Hillel reminded them that even if you have a Chetzi every Chetzi ben Chorin, he's chayav b'Re'iyah because it's not going to happen. He's not a real Eved because the halacha is he has to be released. Okay. Akol chayav mitkiyah shofar. Everyone's chayav mitkiyah shofar. L'suy yomai. What's that coming to include again? L'suy katan shegi l'chinuch. Ditnan ein me'akvis is a katan mitkiyah b'yomtiv. You don't stop a katan from being tekeh b'yomtiv if he wants to. But I guess if he's l'chinuch, right? He's chayav. He should hear it shofar also, and that's akol chayav mikra megillah. Everyone's chayav mikra megillah. Hakol ksherin liquids. What is both Hakol Chayov, the obligated Megillah, and are allowed to read it? What's going to conclude? L'suyin Nashim is going to include women. Nashim Chayovais, the Mikra Megillah. Even women are Chayav Mikra Megillah. They're also included in that miracle, and therefore they're Chayav. Okay.